Hey guys, welcome back to Mod Pop Thrift. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for my 6 kids. My wife is a high school math teacher on maternity leave, and on the other side of Christmas break, she's going to have to go back to school. So I'm going to have to figure out some processes to get some stuff done while I'm staying home with Rubes and Evelyn and driving kids back and forth to school and all the stuff that I got to do. Anyhow, yesterday was ridiculous. I hit $700 in sales, and most of the stuff was really, really good margins. One or two things were like stuff I overpaid for on whatnot and they sold. But let's just jump right into what sold. The first things that I overpaid for on whatnot, these, I think I paid $35 for them, and then they sold for $45 plus shipping in a couple of days. They're sun color Pocahontas, never removed from box, really nice boxes. Original to the movies, and these people had all 4, and I think if I had all 4 of those figures I'd have done better. $19.95. So these essentially I'll break even because I'll make a tiny bit on the shipping. I paid $35, so after fees that'll be about $10. I'm about broke even, so that wasn't a good pickup, but that's kind of the end of the story, of the not fun story. The Jack LaLanne juicer I took apart. I listed every part. This was the first one to sell. Any Jack LaLanne juicers I've ever had, I've never sold the motor. So but the MT1000 is a higher end one. You can see it's kind of stainless steel. It only sold for $30 free shipping, but essentially I bought it thinking I was going to throw the motor away. So any money that I make on it, and here's what I made. And so I imagine it'll probably cost me even maybe like $15 to ship, but I'm still making like $6 or $7, I suspect, just on that, which is on top of the things that will sell that are parts that I will make decent money on. This broken little toaster oven, you can see like it's a little rusty up here. It's got literally somebody gorilla glued the handle back on and made a mess, and inside here it's pretty nasty. So this little toaster oven is like the worst example of one. Paid $4 for it. It does have, and this is key, I paid $4 for it in an estate sale, and it was still hanging on the wall. And it has the screws and the mounting hardware. So I paid $4 for it and took it off the wall and brought it home and tested it and cleaned it up some and listed it for $100. And it sat for a while, and then I got, a while being like maybe 6 weeks, and it sold for, I got an offer for $70. I put it on 20% off sale, and then I sent out an offer, and I think it probably a 10% offer, and I was at, like, sent the offer for like $73, and somebody countered at 70, and I'm like, sold. So I bought those 2 Space Maker things for $4 a piece, and one sold for like 65, and this one sold for 70 plus shipping. So those are really good. The small appliances, people put them in RVs and tiny homes and in their hashtag van life. So those are real good to look out for. And these are RCA omnidirectional speakers. They're 16 inches tall and they're 10 inches from side to side, and they are tested and working. Very mid-century modern. And sets of speakers aren't going to be a super fun thing to ship, but I paid $40 for them, and they sold for $189 free shipping. But I mean, even if it costs me $40 to ship them and takes me 45 minutes, I'm still making like $60, $70 profit. So that's pretty fantastic. So this Halloween t-shirt, I don't generally pull stuff that's not paid for yet, but I accepted the offer while I was standing right there by the box that it's in. So I'm like, I might as well grab it out in case it pays real quick. $8 plus shipping. This is another one of those. I'm not going to be listing this stuff anymore, but I might as well sell what I've got listed. You know, when you touch an article and you're like, wow, this is much higher quality than I expected it to be, and then it's a name that you've never heard of. That's generally a pretty good thing. This jacket was marked at $24.99, and that's what I paid for it at Goodwill. And I listed it. I looked at the comps, and they were selling around 100 and like $110, $125 free shipping, that kind of thing. So I listed mine for 98, and I took an offer, I think it was 88. 85 plus shipping. So that American hide and leather, really unbelievably high quality. If that had fit me, I probably would have kept it, because it feels like one of those that you pass down to your kids. Like, it's really thick, high quality leather and really well made and worth quite a bit of money, because most of those, like if you find Wilson leathers or something like that at the thrift for 20 bucks, it's not this high quality, and it's not going to sell for 100 bucks. So yeah, the Michael Myers shirt just paid, and it's only been like 5 minutes. Gant is a decent name brand from the early 90s. This is made in the USA, no doubt, and single stitch. It's just a pretty generic t-shirt, sold for $9.99 plus shipping. This is an old starter Yankees, and it's got some little yellow stains on it. I paid $5 for it at a yard sale, and I found like a lot of them were listed in the $150, $200 range, but they weren't selling. So I listed mine at like 110, and then I put it on 20% off offer. And then I got a $60 offer, and I'm like, I paid $4 for it. That is like half of market value, but I was at like 80 bucks. So I didn't feel like 60 was a crazy number to offer. And I accepted it. They paid, and I turned $40. I turned $4 into like 40 in my pocket. And once again, we're representing the toe. Tunis Aviation. This is an old fleece or Sherpa lined Windbreaker from the I want to say airport, but is it really? It's just a runway for crop dusters and stuff. In the little farming town where I went to high school, and sometimes I buy local stuff like this. It's sold to somebody that I kind of know in Manitou, and I'm excited to see it go. It didn't sell for much. I think it sold for $17.99 plus shipping. No game, manual, and case for this GameCube, $4 plus shipping. It's just not worth throwing away, this thing, but it's also not worth getting the game and trying to make this dumb thing complete. $5 into 10 plus shipping. This is the last one. I'm sure of it. The last two that have sold, I said were going to be the last one. This is the last one, and I got a $10 offer on it, and I took it, even though it probably would have sold for 13. I'd rather have 10 now than 13 maybe later. Got to get this dumb sticker off of it, but I paid $5 for it a year ago at Ollie's, and finally sold through them all. And this was in the bottom of a box at an auction. I didn't even know what it was. I was buying other stuff in the box. I think it's an egg separator. It says in the description. I just looked up Westmark. You can Google image this kind of stuff. Anyway, this sold for like not very much plus shipping, like $8. How about $9 free shipping? But it was essentially free. I bought some stuff at the auction, and that was in the box of stuff. And so at $9 free shipping, I make like $4, and it takes 1 minute to do. I would not have picked this up had I realized at the time that it had the wrong lid on it. But the lid does fit, and I thought for a minute about throwing the lid out and or listing them separately. And then I'm like, you know what, just list it the way it is and see what happens. 27, no, I listed it for 27, some really weird number, 27 something plus shipping, and sent out a 10% offer, and it was $24.85 or something free plus shipping. It has a double ring on the bottom of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's so this is Rivware, and it is made like an hour down the road, and that company's been around forever. And so I find a lot of old Rivware stuff, and it's worth messing with, but not enough for me to clean it up. But if I buy it for $5 and sell it for $25 plus shipping, then that's worth my time, as long as I don't have to get Barkeeper's Friend and make it shiny. So that's what I did, and it sold to somebody local. I mean, it's not going halfway across the country. It's somebody in Illinois, and so it'll get there before Christmas probably still, and it ships reasonably inexpensive and pretty easy as long as you got the right size box. So look out for Rivware. Buy it cheap enough that you can sell it cheap enough to not have to clean it, because if you have to clean it and you have to get top dollar, it's a little bit slow to sell and they're a pain in the butt to clean. I took in a whole bunch of stuff out of the death pile last night, and there was 13 of these dust covers. I want to say like 6 of them were the Nintendo and the rest of them were not Nintendo branded, and these aren't worth much. I listed them for $13.99 and they sold right away, and then at $13.99 plus shipping. And then the gray zapper, I don't know if you guys are aware that when World of Wonder put out laser tag, and they had a realistic looking gun in 1985, and some little boy had that realistic looking gun, and a cop approached him and he pointed a toy gun from World of Wonder, same company that made Teddy Ruxpin, the laser tag game that I picked up at Habitat for Humanity the other day with the belt and the target laser tag. That's World of Wonder. The gun looks like this, and they're reasonably collectible, but they are the reason that you have to have an orange stamp on the end. That when that little kid got killed by a cop for pointing a gun at him that the cop couldn't tell wasn't real, that's when things changed to where they had to start putting orange ends on the guns. And Nintendo had this gun, and they're like, we are not going to stick an orange end on our gun. That would look dumb and destroy the aesthetic. So they just made the whole gun orange, and that complied without compromising artistically. And so after the very first guns were gray, the later guns are orange. It doesn't affect the value greatly, but I listed the other guns I listed 2 of those guns in orange for $14 and that one for $18, and that one sold right away, and the other ones haven't sold yet, but they've only been listed for 12 hours. But that's the story on the gray versus the orange, and it's not a world of difference, but a lot of collectors, especially Nintendo stuff, the nuance makes a difference. But anyway, those zappers, something else to think about on those zappers is they don't work on your flat screen TV. There's a converter that somebody makes, but it's not worth messing with. But they work on a CRT TV, a tube TV. So just keep that in mind. If you're selling those and somebody says it doesn't work, you need to make sure that they're not trying to use it on a flat screen TV, because the technology simply doesn't work on a flat screen TV. That is everything that sold. $700 yesterday, $695 and change. And I'm up to $50 already today. And it's too late for this stuff to make it for Christmas. I'm hoping that we keep the pedal to the metal. I'm going to try to list 25 or so today as well, but I got to get this big stuff's going to be a little bit of a pain to ship, and I'm still talking to you guys. All right, friends, Goodwill Industries of Central Illinois. It's about 12:30 on the Wednesday before Christmas. Look at all these play sets up here. I don't know what's what yet, but that one says Gotham City. This one looks cool, but I don't think it's anything. I think it's early Imaginext, and I've looked it up before. This one has like Cthulhu or something. $284. Any plushies here worth having? Doesn't hardly look like it. Not standing over top of any vintage. That one's not as good. I looked it up. It's been here since the day we found that good one. Oh, is this Mother Goose? I don't think this is quite the one. Cuddle Barn. I'll look into it. Is that Figaro? Like Minnie Mouse's cat? Walt Disney Company. That's a really nice feeling. And kind of obscure characters like that can do better. This is an interesting, weird looking thing. Definitely always like to look in here. That's for slicing a tomato. Holland. I'll look into that. It's definitely like a slicer. This is like an exercise grip strength thing, but they put it with the kitchen utensils. Nothing. So we lost some clothes. Some mom said no. And there it is, folks. So I thought I was recording here and I wasn't, but this is a Blend Tech, and it is one of the most valuable blenders you can find, and I find them for $5 a lot. I also saw this little bitty KitchenAid food processor, so we're going to comp this one and see if it's worth getting. That one 100% is worth getting. It's just a matter of how much it's worth. This is neat. What is this? So this is like little wooden blocks sewn together, and it's $2.84. I think it's probably a bath mat, and that's pretty cool. And I don't think I can sell it, but I think I'm gonna put it in our bathroom. These kind of platformy things are really popular right now, but I bet these are generic enough. Yeah, they're not. They're really, really cheap. Keens, $8.24. I'll look them up. Don't buy shoes that have holes in them like that. I just picked these up to see if they were worth it, and they're not, just for that reason. So the Bears jacket was $40, so not even at half price, probably at half price. But then now the employees are doing some kind of like game in the middle of the store where they're running around trying to find things, like a scavenger hunt for prizes, which is kind of fun, but also like it's kind of a mess. And then they brought out a new cart, and these little rubber face dolls, which aren't in great shape. Animals in Distinction. This one, I don't know what that is. I'll probably lot these up unless they're worth selling individually, but sanitized for your protection. Wonderful Toy Ideal. I suspect this one's really good, but I'm gonna grab them all for $2 a piece. So this is the Camo Clan, and it's $6, and it's got about a 60% sell-through rate on the entire brand. So we're gonna give that one a shot for sure. This is a Pocahontas Percy the Pug plush. All P's there, but really low sell-through on him. People always say you should pick up Keens. These have 207 listed and 5 sold. Holy cow, I didn't notice how beat to absolute death that these are. Yeah, these are bad. So when you look up this model on this KitchenAid mixer thing, there's only one listed and it's brand new, and they're asking $40 for it. And there's one sold new and one sold used, and the used one sold for $30, so that's probably a get. So even at $1.69, this has about 7 or 8 listed and 1 sold. It sold for $18, but you can buy them for 10, so that's a hard pass. This guy I thought was vintage, and he's from 2015, and he's dirty, and he's nothing. And this guy is cool from 1997, but there's 100 listed, none sold. I picked up this because it just looks like, doesn't that scream Y2K at you? And it's $1.69. There's one listed for 18. There's nothing sold, so we're gonna pass on that. I picked up this. I still haven't comped, and these 2 plushies, but I think this one is probably the same deal as this one. So this is another pass, just a really low sell-through rate on this one. Can't find any record of it being existing at all. So the real story here is the blenders at $5 a piece. That's probably $230 worth of blenders. And then a mat and some laundry detergent to keep, and the Wi-Fi sign to keep. That one jacket that we already talked about, I paid $6. That's probably $35. And then these which I think maybe she's the winner. I paid $1.99 for all of them. She's like, I'm just going to call them a group and do $1.99 on all of them. I'll have to Google this one, but this Knickerbocker Animals of Distinction is a real good thing. This one is from Ideal Toy Company, and I couldn't find any exactly like it, but at $1.99 for all three of them, even if I lot them up and run an auction, I bet I'll get $40 or $50 for them. And so for $30, I got 3 things to keep. Depending on what I decide to do with the plush, I either got 4 or 6 listings. And with the help of a $200 blender, I probably have $350 worth of stuff. So pretty good day at Goodwill. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, following, clicking the bell, all the things that you do. We'll see you on the next one.